Well, here we go. It's wide open. We got 1 day and 35 food plots. Yep. It's go time. One thing we actually did different this year is weird, but the schedule, we didn't really have anything mid-November. And so we started looking at it, it's like, man, you know, we ought to try testing grounds early. Like our rifle season comes in early.
Yeah, we went back and looked at all the trail cam pictures over the past 3 or 4 years, and a lot of the shooter bucks, our target bucks, were showing up in the daylight on those dates around that same time. So that's a no-brainer. Come try them, you know.
Yep, and obviously it worked out really good not knowing, but it turns into we're really right in between trying to replant everything, which is absolutely absurd that we're replanting in November. And of course, it goes back to what we've talked about the whole series. You have a plan, and they're all. Yeah, what's the term you keep using?
Everybody's got a plan till you get punched in the mouth.
That's right.
That's right.
So
well, the weather punched us in our mouth.
Yeah, so
it did us all.
We're in a scramble. Obviously, you can't plant sweet greens. You can't plant sugar rush. You can't plant all the blends that on paper are great. But we're in November, so we're trying to plant cereal grains that will grow in cooler temps now, just to have something. So it's a total. It turned the entire plan and everything upside down. Testing grounds fashion, baby. It is November 13th. And basically everything we've done has not been a waste, but we have had the absolute driest summer we've ever had. So we came in, planted once on all our brassicas, everything started coming up pretty. No rain for 90 something days, they all died. And then we replanted again in front of a rain and got 1/4 of an inch, just enough to germ everything, and then another stretch with no rain. So we are in a fast and furious replant. So basically what we're doing, we've got couple little areas that we've made some different decisions. This is one long lane that kind of sets right in the middle of a big WRP patch, and it's basically no way to hunt it unless you hunt this lane. And we're actually fixing to start pumping water in here, which will help a lot. And then this is kind of a high ridge that runs through, but we've decided to take the rhino and clip this whole lane, and then we got a stand set up here, and we're going to put a Moultrie feeder up, a directional, and kind of shooting into the lane just to hold deer. But in rut, this whole section is always on fire. But got a couple little plots to clip that we no-tilled, and we're going to go ahead and clip them down to the ground and then come right behind, drill, and broadcast today. So, God, like we always said, every time we have a plan to replant. Hey, the name of the game in the SIP this year is if you can get a food plot up. You can forget all that cute stuff. Good news is Chris and Keith said they'll be here this weekend to help. They're going to be more on the herd management side instead of the food plot management. We can't go no faster. We're running out of light. That's pretty much our wrap on everything on the front side. We got about 4 more in the back to hit in the morning. It's saying, I checked the weather a while ago, it's saying about 2 o'clock tomorrow, so we still got in the morning to finish up. But what do you think, JoJo? Plant, replant, plant again? Ain't nothing you can do with the weather we've had. It's the driest summer Mississippi's ever had. It's been brutal, but I will say we're planting into good moisture, and there's a lot of days here, the next 5 or 6 days, with a lot of scattered showers. So I'm gonna tidy this one up, and we start hunting this weekend. They're gonna be dirt patches and buck robber and flame kiss.
Something to live for, something to live for. You can tear me down, but I'm gonna stick around. Something to live for.
Yeah.
So it worked out good because we're kind of replanting. We said, hey, we're going to be in town anyway, so we're going to hunt. And this goes back to, we've told everybody, Chris Ashley
He loves it.
will kill a deer in Walmart parking.
And then they put me to go. I decided to go video him, and it was.
Oh, it was a
Anytime me and him together, something's gonna die.
Yep.
Most time it's multiple somethings.
Yes.
So we picked this one spot. Cody goes, hey, Mike, if you want to go over and shoot some does, go over to Happy.
Well, it's an afternoon play, so everything, if there was any plays, we're running high cotton in the feeder still. It's a mix, got some buck trio and then flame kiss. So we've got a variety out in different areas, but it's an afternoon play. So Chris is
But what I liked about it was one of them big, long fields, and you can see forever.
Yeah.
And you got a grass field on both sides. So, them deer are just steady crossing.
Yeah.
And me and Keith just sitting there, and that morning, and I text Cody, is there anything in here to shoot, like buck-wise? I mean, I got a picture of a big 7 in there, but you ain't gonna see him.
I say you'll know him if you see
Yeah.
him. He's he's a toad and super wide. But
Very
I mean,
first deer.
stay on doe patrol, man. That's what you're gonna
Dude,
see.
I'm talking about.
Cody's buck started showing up that he's been trying to hunt with his bow. So him and Joey snuck in there and got on the ground. So me and Keith said, we ain't staying at the camp. We come down here to what we call Happy Gilmore. It's a big giant lane just looking out across the CR. I mean, I guess it'd be CRP. WRP, whatever it is. It's a major thicket. Kind of runs right down the middle of the thickest part of this place. And we got the green light. I can't believe we talked Cody into it, but we're gonna shoot does, bucks, pigs, whatever we see, we're gonna shoot. We already had a little doe walk right by us, but it was too early. Didn't have any camera light. It's 6:20.
It's kind of edgy, but this was the only play, was to get as close as we could to this thicket on this side. But during the night, he's been in a food plot straight out in front of us and then just working back in here to bed. It's crazy enough that it could possibly work. The hardest thing we got is making sure me and Joey looking at the same thing. He's probably, I don't know, 8 yards behind me. It's absolutely flame kiss engaged. Here we go. Beautiful spot. Acre flat through here with WRP over there and then a big slough and thicket on our left. These deer just come back out of here going back and forth to bed. We're gonna see if we can't do something crazy and bust one. You ready, Joey?
Keith. Yeah. There's a deer on the right. That's a big buck. Where at? Right. He's in that ditch. He's looking this way. Kind of looking down. He's on the right hand side of the ditch. Got you. See his big head right there? Yeah. He's coming on out. I got him.
Yeah, I like it.
Mac. Mac. Hit him. Oh, I know it is. Had to. Yeah, he was kind of, had to do something.
That is a stud.
That's a big 7 point.
Don't let me and you come to hunt. Something gonna die.
I said, I look, I said, Key, there's a buck to the right over here. He's big and too. Just poof. Oh my God, that worked.
That worked.
Hey,
Doe patrol now.
that was awesome. Yeah, he
I thought he was gonna walk on across and you nagged at him.
Yeah.
And he stopped and he like done like that like a bird foot,
Yeah.
I guess.
and then he's still standing there, and I put it behind the shoulder, squeezed the trigger. I heard it.
Oh yeah.
Ain't no doubt that was Chris. Sound like he connected too. We got a lot of does to shoot. So instead of sitting out, since their buck spots wasn't really no plays, they went on a little doe management. They have fired the first shot.
That is a big
That's a,
That's a cool 7 point.
That's a big 7.
Last year, I think that yours is bigger.
well, they didn't expect that. We're gonna come back with a rack.
Right. Hey, get the rack, put it in the sack, and come on back.
That's what I'm talking about. We got that party started. Well, we ain't got to worry about that big 7 around no more.
No.
I asked Cody, I said, so in that Happy Gilmore, what buck I might see? He said, a big old wide 7 with a forked brow.
Yeah.
Well, he got
There you go.
I looked over, I said, that's a mature buck. I mean, I can tell by his head. I ain't seen nothing else but that.
Chris, gonna call us, tell us he shot a doe, and we over there buck hunting. Man, I heard you shoot a doe. You ain't gotta call me. I'm up in there buck hunting.
Well, I was buck hunting too this morning.
Are you serious? You done shot a buck?
Yeah, I shot a buck. A big
What
wide
deer?
A big wide mature deer.
The 7 point with a split brow?
Yeah, I believe that's him.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
You
dude,
kidding me?
he came out about 100 yards on the right. I looked down there, I said, man, I see a deer's head. I know that's a deer head. I threw my binoculars up, and I could tell just by seeing his neck and his head, that sucker's big old mature buck. I said, Keith, I think that could be that big 7. Keith threw his binoculars up, he goes, it is him. I was like,
Oh
he gone.
my God.
Oh, he's a stud. He's a stud, dude.
I told you, I said that there may be one over there, the only one, you know, he hangs right there in that round football field in there. But he's like 20 inches wide with a big split on his left brow. I'm talking about send you in on a doe mission and you done shot a tank, son.
Us together.
Yeah,
and
me and
send us
Keith just
nowhere.
talked about it. We was like, I can't believe Cody turned me and you together here in the same stand.
Man, I trust y'all. Y'all gonna shoot something fat.
My boy's coming. He said he want to go with me to find him. I was like, I'm waiting and waiting and waiting. Like, man, let's go look at the deer.
Cross it.
Yeah, he crossed, well, somewhere right here. And when I seen him, he was just barely out on that side. He's looking, kind of looking around. Like, man, that's like Texas. I mean, the sun was on him. I said, cool. At first, I didn't know who it was because this side was, kind of to us. I'm like, that might be like a big 10 or something. I got the lens. I said, that's a big mature buck though. Heavy, man, he's that wide.
Yeah.
And then we both got our binoculars on him. He said, it's that big 7.
God, he's a tank, ain't he?
Yeah, when he said that, I looked around like, put my muffs on it. I believe that clump, like that culvert where that little road is.
Yeah.
About 30 yards right here, it came out. Shot him. And that big tallest, that oak tree right there was the only
With the
one
leaves, yeah.
That's the only one
It
I saw.
crashed and shake, it shook, and
Nothing.
I'm assuming it can't be far past that. But, gotta find out where I'm at here.
Gosh, thick.
You wonder why they all in there.
I've never even stepped in here.
It's thick in here.
I hope that's a tree you saw.
It might jump your butt. Might jump the one you hunting here.
I hope he was looking at the right tree, because if not,
I know it's gonna die.
Somewhere past this tree. I'm right here by it. Somewhere.
gosh, thick.
Is that the right tree, Keith?
I think it is tree. I mean, there's a bunch of trees out here look the same.
But there ain't none with leaves all over.
That was one right up there, but I thought it was past it. That's got a little more brown leaves. What we were looking
No,
at.
here he is.
You got it?
I got him right here. Right there. Look, Joe. See his back?
Mm-hmm.
Right there. Well, right there. Look at that, Joe.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
5 feet from. I can't even see it.
I see that rack. I can tell you that.
I still ain't seen him, Chris.
He's right here.
Oh, I see it. God,
Go.
dude, look at that. Oh,
He got a rack.
That is a
He
stud.
got a body.
dude,
Man.
congrats.
Thank you, boys.
I'm telling you, testing ground now. That's your jam.
Look at
Yeah.
here. I'm putting it right on up there with Kansas.
God, look at the mass down here.
Oh, man.
That's a stud.
Yeah. He didn't run that far, but
It's thick.
I mean, I'm glad we saw that tree shaking. We'd been in the bind, because I mean, you've been out here just looking. Like he's stiff, like he.
And the biggest thing I was worried about is the duck holes start right here.
Yeah.
Dude,
And so you've been all water. But I knew you done put a pop knot on.
dude,
There
he's
he
20
is.
inches wide all day. That thing's a stud.
He's a big one.
I mean, he's sitting there and he just.
It was so pretty. That light was so pretty. The sun was behind us.
God,
Look at the
boy, he
head
is
on it.
wide, ain't he?
He hammering.
God,
That's awesome.
I mean,
this
Chris,
crab, but we hadn't really had a play in this grass field. That was the only one. Just come in and drill. We drilled big 3, and was like, we'll put us a feeder, spitting a little flame kiss out there and see what happens.
Well,
It worked great.
he wasn't worried about nothing to eat. He just crawled. He was
I
about
think he's headed to bed.
Yeah.
I think 100% headed to bed.
50 yards past that flame kiss, but you let that food plot get up.
Yeah.
they
Which
gonna
is
do some-
crazy. I mean, he was at 10 point, which you know how far that is.
Yeah.
At like
That's
10 or
stud.
11 o'clock last night. And then he was at football field at 3:50. And then he right here when you shot him. I think he's just working back to bed, like
Oh,
he
yeah.
said.
Dude, that
Worked
is a
perfect.
fine Mississippi bull.
Boy, that is a old
He's just
deer,
an
ain't he?
old big bruiser, man.
That deer showed up in camera surveys, first picture we had him in October.
Really?
Yep.
He's a good one.
I
You can
think
get
we,
all the pictures you want to of him now.
ain't no doubt.
I'm 5 minutes after daylight. I look out there and I said, Keith, we got to shoot that. Who is it?
Look like a cow
He
walking
zoomed in
out.
there and goes, I said, Big 7. Busted.
Yeah, I hear it. But of course, I mean, it's 15 minutes after shooting light. And I'm like, dang, doe down, you know. So I texted him, got you a doe, huh? That didn't take long. He said, no, buck down. I was like, who? He said, the Big 7.
It wasn't 10 minutes. Here comes Cody. Ah! He come back in.
But it was literally going doe hunting, 0 expectations. But I will say, you know, that entire, we call it Happy Gilmore, and we've done it every different way. We planted the main plot, we planted the road, different blends. It's just a tough spot to get in and out of.
Yeah.
And if you would have known, like the buck lived in that area, obviously it wasn't like he
It's
randomly
WRP
showed-
all around with duck holes out
Yeah.
in it. And I mean, it's just huge bedding area.
Yeah, and it
No,
goes back to kind of
it's just
overthinking
big.
things. Like if you'd have known he was there, you never would have drove
No,
in there
no.
that morning. Like
Right.
you're gonna bump him, you're gonna bump him. Don't go hunt it.
Yeah.
But going in doe hunting, it's like, well, we'll let it sit for a month and it'll be fine,
Yeah.
and it's works like a champ. But
But that's the way things work. You know, you think the testing grounds, we got it, mainly to test plots and to test
Yeah.
feed and other stuff. But not only, man, we learn so much testing our skills as a hunter.